Greetings and welcome to this week's Golf Betting Show. It's Steve Bamford from Golf Betting System. I take it that you're well. We're covering the 2019 US Open. Let's do this. The third major of 2019, the US Open at Pebble Beach. It's going to be an absolute classic. If you're new to the show, and there are many thousands of you that will be, follow me on Twitter. I'm at Bamford Golf. Also, subscribe to the show. The amount of subscribers we've got so far in 2019, it just continues to grow and grow. So please subscribe to the show. Of course, ensure that your notifications are switched on. That way, you then receive a message every time the Golf Betting Show is uploaded week in, week out. On top of that, give us a like and tell me who you are backing at the 2019 US Open. The amount of subscribers, the amount of likes helps Google and helps YouTube to know that the show is well looked, is well respected, well viewed, and they will then give us better visibility. And of course, all of the content at Golf Betting System is completely free of charge. That includes our US Open betting tips preview. I'll put a link through to that in the description box. Our US Open preview, lots of trends, course information on that. On top of that, the Golf Betting System podcast will be out later today. I'm recording this on Monday afternoon over here in the UK. So come and join our Golf Betting System YouTube channel as well, because you can listen to the podcast, you watch the Golf Betting Show. There's loads of content for the US Open and each and every week across the PGA Tour and the European Tour. So subscribe, like, and of course, tell me who you're backing. 2019 US Open. Always traditionally, of course, used to be the second major, and there used to be that big gap, didn't there, between Augusta, and then we would roll along through May. The players would perk things up, but then it would roll through Texas, and we'd eventually get to the US Open. But it hasn't been like that in 2019 with the new PGA Tour schedule. We're already on our third major championship in the middle of June. It's crazy kind of stuff. The amount of quality golf that's out there at the moment is fantastic as well. Kevin Na winning in Colonial. Then Patrick Cantlay finished like an absolute train at the Memorial Tournament with us on board. And then last week, Rory McIlroy in Canada. Absolutely sensational stuff from Rory McIlroy to virtually lap the field. It was impressive viewing last night. But can he win a US Open? Well, the bookmakers, as you would expect, have completely slashed his price. And if anything, I would say that McIlroy's slight favourite, with Dustin Johnson and Brooks Koepka now sitting in joint second favouritism. But with some firms that differs. In essence, all three of them, it's difficult to split. So let me take you through some content this week. Let's get involved with the US Open. Right, I'm going to take you through the top 10 of this week's US Open predictor model. We have a predictor model at Golf Betting System. You can come and use it completely free of charge. It's a fantastic tool for taking this big field and measure it, pulling it down into smaller amounts of players. We've got lots of information on there. Driving accuracy, greens and regulation, scrambling. We've got guys that are good on Poana greens, which we're facing this week. Guys that are good by the coast. There are many, many variables on there, and you can tailor-make your own predictions. This is the model that I came up with. Now, I'm going to mention this week because we have a situation where we have never had so many bookmakers offering 10 places each way at a major championship. This follows on from the PGA Championship. There are 5 firms this week offering 10 places each way at 50 odds. Fantastic. But what that means is, in most cases, you can take shorter odds, 10 places each way at 50 odds, or you can take a bit better odds with other firms who are offering a smaller amount of each way places on their terms. I'm going to take you through both. I'm going to take you through the bookmaker at the moment, who's offering the best value 10 places each way, and the bookmaker who is also offering the best odds across the market. And at the odd circumstance, they actually tally up. Now, bookmaker of the week has to be, based upon the research that we've been doing, 10 places each way. It has to be Paddy Power. They are outstanding this week. 10 places each way of 50 odds on the 2019 US Open. if you follow our each way analysis that we do each and every week at Golf Betting System, you'll also realise that in 2019, Paddy Power have given the most each way places so far this year. So they're the best, or joint best, at the US Open, and they're best in 2019. They are the best in the market. Now, if you sign up to a Paddy Power account via Golf Betting System, so take any of the links in the description box, you will see the new customer offer for Paddy Power, which is not their standard £10 or €10 no risk first bet. However, it is a Golf Betting System exclusive. You will receive a bet 10 and get £40 in free bets and a slot bonus when you open up an account via Paddy Power. So bet £10 or €10 qualifying bet, you will then receive £30 of free bets plus a £10 or €10 slot bonus on the game TED. That is available right now at golfbettingsystem.co.uk. Follow any of the links through to the US Open content in the description box. So Paddy Power outstanding this week at the US Open and outstanding so far in 2019. Nobody has offered more each way places. Of course, key terms are available on the website. So let me take you through this predictor model. 10 is Justin Rose. Okay, market leading price right now is 28 to 1 with Unibets. They are 7 places each way at 50 odds. If I mention extended each way places, they are all at 50 odds, okay? So 28 to 1 with Unibet, Justin Rose, 7 places each way. If you want the best 10 place price, he is available 20 to 1, Paddy Power, 10 places each way at 50 odds. 9, Xander Schauffele, 28 to 1 available with Bet365, 8 places each way. He's also available 10 places each way at 22 to 1 best price with Paddy Power. 8, defending champion Brooks Koepka. He is 9 to 1. That is available with Paddy Power, 10 places each way at 50 odds, and that is the market leading price right now across any bookmaker. No brainer. 7, Jason Day, 35 to 1 with Unibet, 7 places each way, which is an outstanding price on Jason Day with his Pebble Beach history. He's also available 10 places each way, 28 to 1 with Boyle Sports. 6, Matt Kuchar, 50 to 1 with Bet365, 8 places each way. He is available at 40 to 1, best price, 10 places each way with Paddy Power. 5, Hideki Matsuyama, 35 to 1 with Bet365, 8 places each way. And Matsuyama is also available 10 places each way. Best price in the market right now with Paddy Power, 28 to 1. 4, Jim Furyk, the old stagey, the old plodder, could go well at the US Open. 125 to 1 is available, 10 places each way. Market best price right now with Coral, 10 places each way. 3, Tiger Woods, 12 to 1 with Bet365, 8 places each way. He is 11 to 1 best price, 10 places each way with Boyle Sports. 2, Rory McIlroy, 8 to 1 with Paddy Power, 10 places each way. So yes, market leading price on Rory McIlroy, 8 to 1, Paddy Power, they're also paying out 10 places each way. And finally, I would assume he would have potentially been favourite before the spurt from Rory McIlroy last week. Dustin Johnson is 9 to 1 with Betfred, 8 places each way. Or if you want the 10 places, you will go to Paddy Power if you want to maximise the odds. 8 to 1 with Paddy Power, 10 places each way on Dustin Johnson. So, top 3 of the predictor model: Dustin Johnson, Rory McIlroy and Tiger Woods. Of course, come and play with the predictor model. Again, I put a link through to this week's predictor model in the description box. Right, we are finally at the 2019 US Open, played at Pebble Beach Golf Links. We know the course, don't we? I mean, they tend to play the AT&T National Pro-Am here each and every year. But we're now playing not in the first week of February as the Pro-Am does. We are playing in June. This the Pebble Beach Golf Course Pebble Beach and Carmel by the Sea, they kind of merge into one. Not a lot of rain has been here over the preceding few months. I don't think I've seen rain anywhere on the site or in this area for over 2 weeks. And the forecast for tournament week this week is dry. Dry as a bone. So, I'm expecting typically soft. What am I talking about? Typically fast and firm conditions at Pebble Beach. Now, it's interesting because clearly the USGA, who organise this event, have taken a lot of stick over the years. And Mike Davis, who's always the head in terms of course setup, has now moved to the side. Well, he's actually moved up. He's become the CEO of the organisation. But he has placed control. What a poison chalice this is. He has given control of course setup to a guy that's worked with him for a long, long time, John Bodenhammer. He's the USGA Senior Managing Director of Championships. So he organises not just the US Open, but the Amateur Open, the Women's Open, everything that the USGA put on. And I was listening to and reading some comments that John has been making in the build-up to this, and I just thought some of them were interesting. They've got Nick Price involved on the USGA now. They've also got Jason Gore on board, specifically for this tournament. Now, Jason Gore, an old PGA Tour pro, has played thousands of rounds on the PGA Tour, has played lots and lots in California at Pebble Beach at Torrey Pines. He's a Californian, so he actually won a California amateur title. And he is specifically on site and liaising with John, liaising with players to get the course in the best condition that they can, the most challenging, but also the fairest. And this is the problem with the USGA. They get such a bad press now that players are very easily on the front foot complaining about the golf course. But I thought this particular comment was quite interesting from John Bodenhammer. The biggest challenge will be the weather. If we get really windy conditions, we will need to manage things with a combination of green speeds, firmness and rough heights. I think we will be slower this year with green speeds, which gives us new hole locations. They will still be quick, but we will start them off a little slower. It's important with these tiny putting greens. If it gets really windy and blustery, they get crusty real quick. So we will pay attention to hydration. So if we cast our minds back to 2010 and Graham McDowell's fantastic victory here, we had lightning fast fairways. I think you're going to have exactly the same. Potentially, we're going to have the same level of rough that we saw in 2010, maybe even a little bit more from around the greens that I've seen in terms of Instagram videos and Twitter videos and whatever. But what you might get, and this might be the case, especially Thursday and Friday, I wouldn't say receptive greens, but at least greens that aren't like glass. So that might mean slightly lower scoring for the US Open at Pebble Beach this year. And when I mean slightly open, I don't mean 21-22 open, which we saw at the RBC Canadian Open last week. But it's fascinating to see that of the 6 major championships held here at Pebble Beach over the years, 5 US Opens and 1 PGA Championship, only Graham McDowell's produced a winning score that wasn't under par. So potentially, I think you might see a 4, 5, 6 under par win this week. That's kind of where my mind is. Conditions also marry into that target score, I think, because we're not going to see any brutal wind. It looks like on the forecast that the biggest winds are going to be 10 to 12 miles an hour, which will be across the weekend. The actual conditions Thursday and Friday look pretty easy in terms of the wind conditions. But also noticeably, this is not. It to me looks like we're going to get Open Championship conditions over in California. Don't forget, we're 2 hours south of San Francisco. For me, we're going to get conditions that are far more open championship than North American golf, because temperatures aren't going to get any bigger than 19 degrees Celsius across the whole tournament. And across the weekend, we're looking at something around the 15 to 16 mark Celsius. So that potentially 15 degrees Celsius, that for me helps Europeans, helps guys that have got vast open championship experience. That's just the way I'm looking at it. Right, there is loads of information available in my preview, which I put in the description box, around about how the course plays, the Pure Poa annua greens, and the challenge that Pebble Beach is going to be. It's going to be one of those tournaments which, for me, length off the tee will still be important. If you can hit it long and straight, fantastic. It's one of those golf courses, though, with the firm and fast conditions. I think they're probably only going to take driver out of the bag 4 to 5 times during the whole round. So that brings people into the mix. Some will find that frustrating. Some players who hit driver far too often and just like that will find this week completely frustrating, and they will boil over. So players with experience, players that don't mind going 3-wood, don't mind going utility club, or even 2-iron off the tee, they're the sort that I think will thrive this week. I really do. If you can keep the ball in fairways, they've taken 5 to 6 yards of width off of the fairways since, say, 2014, 2015, when they were playing the AT&T National here. So we've actually got fairway widths of 29 yards at 300 yards off the tee. So they're not dissimilar in their size and width to what we saw at Hamilton last week. They're not actually dissimilar either to Muirfield Village. But it's not even the width, it's the firmness of them. And you get so much run out here that it makes driver on a lot of holes suicidal, especially the holes where you have the coastline and the cliffs on the right-hand side. So that's the whole point here. It's going to be a typical US Open. Course management, patience, playing below the hole, missing in the right spots, and having a short game to be able to cope with the inevitable missed greens. I think even for the very best greens in regulation approach guys this week, I would be amazingly surprised to see any greens in regulation numbers better than 75%. And of course that then means that across the 4 days, even the very best ball striker and greens in regulation guys in the field will still be scrambling 18, 20 times across the week. They need a short game. They need to miss on the right side of the holes to give them a chance to get up and down. So that's where I'm at with it. We had Tiger Woods win this in 2000, a record major championship winning victory gap in terms of, I think, 15-shot victory. 2010 saw Graham McDowell win this, of course, from Gregory Havre, which again gives you a European feel, but the likes of Ernie Els, Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods all in tied third. Experience pays around here, I think. And that doesn't necessarily mean... I think top 10 experience at the AT&T Pebble Pro-Am does help around here, undoubtedly. But if you've still got players that have got experience of US Open golf, have got experience of Open Championship golf on firm, fast links courses, and they are playing well right now, I think it transfers to Pebble Beach, I really do. There's also an interesting piece of analysis that we've done that's available via the previews and via my golf betting tip preview in the description box, where we've taken from 2011 through 2019 every single round played at Pebble Beach only, every member of this field. So well worth looking into to see just who has got the best scoring average by round around Pebble Beach. So that's where I'm kind of at with this. I will run in, let's do this slightly differently in terms, I've gone for 4 this week. Gone for 4. Had a decent week last week with Shane Lowry. We clearly had Patrick Cantlay the week before. So things are going okay. These are my 4 for the US Open. Biggest price for me is 50 to 1. I've gone 8 places each way, 50 odds with Bet365. Again, as I went through on the predictor model, Bet365 have got that great balance this week. They've got a great balance of 8 places each way at 50 odds and market leading prices. Again, if you have not got Bet365 account, do not hesitate to come through to the Golf Betting System website and we will put you through to Bet365, who their sportsbook right now is undoubtedly the best in the business. Webb Simpson, a point each way, 50 to 1 available, 8 places each way at 50 odds with Bet365. Simpson, I think on a course where bomb and gouge is going to be the poor relation this week, he can thrive. Hamilton Golf and Country Club last week, the RBC Canadian Open, he finished in tie second with Shane Lowry. Of course, that performance featured pretty thin fairways, pretty lush rough, and speedy Poa annua greens. And that was always my downside with Simpson. But of late, he seems to be putting a lot better on Poa annua, and I think that makes him a real danger this week. Last week's outing produced some eye-catching stats which should translate well to Pebble. 9th for driving accuracy, 11th for greens in reg, 23rd for total driving, 17th for ball striking, 1st for scrambling, always handy, 1st for strokes gained putting, and he was also 2nd for his all-round game last week in Canada. Clearly a US Open champion from the past. Clearly a guy that's also been mixing it in good circles in majors recently. Let's go from 2018 through. 20th at the Masters, 10th at the US Open, again, Poa annua greens at Shinnecock Hills. 12th at the Open Championship. He was 6th after 54 holes at Carnoustie last year. Firm and fiery conditions. He was 19th at the PGA Championship, played at Belle Reef, soft, far too long for him. Then this year, a stunning 5th place at Augusta National. Augusta National really is not Webb Simpson territory, but what this is saying to us is he's feeling far more comfortable at this highest level, the biggest table setting, if you like, of golf. He's getting back to feeling comfortable in major championships, and I think that makes him a real danger this week at Pebble Beach. He also shot a 7 under 137 total around here in the 2013 AT&T National Pro-Am. So he can get around Pebble Beach, he can score around here. I just think, you know, when you're looking at Webb Simpson or a Brandt Snedeker or a Matt Kuchar, for me, I've gone for Simpson in that kind of role. So, a point each way, 50 to 1, 8 places each way, available 50 odds with Bet365. Next up, an older player, vast experience. He's only 38, mind. And has he got another major in him? I would not be surprised. A US Open fits for me with this guy because he's got a great all-round game and he's in fantastic nick right now. 2013 Masters champion. Last year, 3rd at the 2018 PGA Championship. He's also finished so far this year. He's had a great year. 2019 has produced 2nd at Torrey Pines, Poa annua greens. 7th at Riviera, Bentgrass, Poa annua greens. 12th at TPC Sawgrass. 18th at Augusta. He was right up on the pace after 2 rounds. 8th at Bethpage, Black, and 2nd a fortnight ago at Muirfield Village, where he was 10th for total driving, 11th for strokes gained off the tee, 2nd for greens in reg, 5th for strokes gained on approach, 2nd for ball striking, 6th for scrambling, and 2nd for all round. Step forward, Adam Scott, who, if it wasn't for Patrick Cantlay a couple of weeks ago, would have clearly won the Memorial Tournament. And he's just in fantastic form right now. The thing I really love about Scott is he's played here the last 2 consecutive AT&T Pro-Ams. Hasn't done a great deal. But as on Pebble Beach, the score, I think he's averaged 70.5 around there in two rounds. So he plays okay around it. Don't you worry about that. But this kind of Pebble Beach, firm, fast, US Open tough, will suit him far, far more. And listen to this for an Open Championship record. 8th at Hoylake, 2nd at Royal Lytham, 3rd at Muirfield in 2013. That was firm and fiery. 5th at Hoylake in 2014, 10th at St Andrews in 2015. With the Northern European conditions in play this week, which I think will make this a little bit more Open Championship-y, I think he's got a fantastic chance this week. So Adam Scott, 1.5 points each way, 30 to 1 I've gone for the 10 places each away at 50 odds with our friends at Paddy Power on that. Then 2 more, both with Bet365, both at market leading price, 8 places each way at 50 odds. If you listen to our weekly podcast, there's myself, there's Paul Williams, there is Barry O'Hanrahan. We are sweet on this chap at every major. He's auto bet. For us, he has got a major championship in very, very soon. And his numbers in recent majors have been fantastic. 13th at Bethpage Black last time out, even though he bogeyed the last 4 or 5 holes and got us out of a place. It was each way money back coming with Xander, but that got really windy, and I don't think wind is his friend overly. Don't forget, he's a young lad still learning the game. With not a lot of wind in play this week, I think this will suit him a lot better. Second at Augusta, behind Tiger Woods, and he looked absolutely rock solid at Augusta. 26th at Bellerive at the PGA last year. Second at a firm and fiery Carnoustie. And 5th at Shinnecock Hills on those Poana greens in New York State last year. He's consistent, he's high achieving, he wins big tournaments, he's ready to win his first major in my opinion. He's got limited course experience, although the one time he did play the AT&T National Pro-Am, he shot a 369 around Pebble Beach. Back then he was a rookie, back then I think he was in a run of 6 or 7 missed cuts on the bounce. Totally different animal this time. From California, from La Jolla. So Torrey Pines is his local course. Pebble Beach will not scare or intimidate him in any way, shape or form. And his play at Muirfield Village was really good under the radar. I think he finished 14th. But he was 13th for driving accuracy, first for total driving, first for strokes gained tee to green. He played some outstanding golf that week. Xander Schauffele, 2 points each way, 28 to 1. With Bet365. And then finally, I'm avoiding the top 3. I'm going for the one and only Tiger Woods. 3 points each way, 12 to 1 with Bet365. 8 places each way at 50 odds. What more do you need to say? That performance last time at the Memorial Tournament was very eye-opening. He stated after winning the Masters, it clearly hit him. It was such a huge achievement. He didn't pick up a club. He didn't have any energy. Didn't have any motivation. Just spent time with the kids at home. Tried to get to Quail Hollow, just could not manage it. Couldn't get enough practice in. Couldn't enter at the standard he wanted to. So he went straight to Bethpage Black for the PGA Championship. It was a complete nightmare. Started on the 10th hole. First thing in the morning, bogeyed the 10th. Was 1 over par. Brooks Koepka birdied the 10th. They were in the same group. It was over for Tiger pretty much there. He fought around, tried to make the cut, but couldn't get there. Went away, regrouped, got the mojo back, got the motivation back, went to Memorial Tournament, struggled in the opening rounds, 72, 70. Then started to find a lot of, but then he was finding fairways from the start actually. Then the greens and regulation started to come. Finished with that fantastic closing round. I just think that this golf course, in the state that it's going to be, the stinger, the draw, the fade, all of the shot shapes that Tiger Woods will have under control, the fact that he can hit the prerequisite amount of greens, scramble his way around here, no one knows Pebble Beach as well as Tiger Woods. Fantastic Poana putter. I mean, he's an 8-time winner at Torrey Pines. So, Tiger Woods, 3 points each way, 12 to 1. 8 places each way, 50 odds with Bet365. Pretty obvious bet for me, but I'm sure there'll be plenty of you out there that disagree. But I think Woods is a cracking value bet this week at 12 to 1. Bearing in mind, I think he was generally 14 to 1 when he won the Masters. So Woods at 12s. We've got Xander Schauffele at 28. Pleased with that price. Adam Scott at 30s. There are 33s out there if you fancy Scott with shorter than 10 places each way. And then I've got also Webb Simpson, a point each way, 50 to 1 for the 2012 US Open champion. Thanks for watching the show. Of course, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and to let me know who you are backing. Follow me at Bamford Golf. We'll be back again very soon. Enjoy the US Open.